Yo, yo, it's that time again.
Y'all, it's time for the best podcast of the week.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait every week. Can't wait.
It is time to talk about that AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage, and AEW Collision on this episode of Off the Top Rope.
Ooh, boy. So
Y'all
we
know
got a good week.
we got a very good week, but y'all know what we got to do first.
Yep.
Y'all gotta follow us everywhere. See, if y'all would just follow us, we might not have to do this every week. I'm just saying.
Just say.
First off, if you're not following us on Blue Sky, if you're not following us on Twitter, more Twitter at this, or more Blue Sky at this point, follow us
Mhm.
on those at TAGPW Podcasts. You'll be able to see a lot of our tweets. Proffitt's on there all the time, doing a lot of really good stuff. He broke the news about Ricochet, so if y'all want to get the inside scoop, definitely go follow us over there. Make sure you're hitting the bells. Make sure you retweet and all that stuff over there too. And while you're at it, make sure you also check out the podcast on Podbean and Spotify. If you can't watch the video version, which this one might be a good video version to watch because we got a few things going on right now. But if you cannot watch the video version, if you're on the road, understandable. We are on Podbean and Spotify. If you look up TAGPW Off the Top Rope, you'll be able to get these podcasts, listen to them on your way to work, listen to your way home, while you're making dinner. Yeah, just listen to them. Let us know what's going on. What else is going on, Profit?
Um, so, since you're here, and since you're on that YouTube channel, I need you to hit that like button because it for sure helps us out, especially if you like the content. And also, subscribe, guys. Ain't gonna hurt you. Hit that subscribe. Also, tap on the bell button so you can get all of our content, including the episodes of Off the Top Rope and the episodes of the OVA where we talk about anime and the Command Grab where we talk about games. So yeah, and all of our social media websites and things like Spotify and Podbean are also linked in the channel and linked down in the description below. So if you want to, get on those, uh, click those uh, click those links, and also comment because comments are fun. And let's get some, conversation. What you guys think about the C2 this week? What you guys think about Dynamite? What you think about the AEW Women's Cup, the International Women's Cup going on? Let us know in the comments. So with that, let's get on to the show.
We gotta do a shout out, and I gotta ask you a question before we get into the shows.
Okay.
First, shout out New Japan Pro Wrestling. Right now, actively right now as we're recording, they're doing their Strong Style Evolve show, and the match that's on right now, I believe, was Shingo and Yoda Tsuji versus Jack Perry and Takeshita.
Oh shit.
They were tearing the house down so far. So I'm gonna watch that show later. It sounds like the show's been pretty good. I've heard a lot of good things about the show already.
Mhm.
So shout out to y'all. And question:
Oh,
what are you
you got the
disowning?
okay. Sorry, so guys, you know how I liked TNA wrestling for the longest time.
Oh no.
TNA wrestling now is just not. They're just making all the worst type of decisions a show could make. Um, so over the weekend, one of those decisions was, after Jordan Grace's match, Hooded Figure pops up, hits her with that, hammerlock DDT, um, you know, takes off the mask and everything. Well, everybody knew who it was because the chin was sticking out of the fucking mask.
Oh my god.
And it was Tessa Blanchard.
No way.
Tessa Blanchard is now back in TNA. And this is one of those points where I'm like, oh, okay, nah, nah, dog. I ain't with it.
God
So
bless.
Jordan Grace, bless her heart, is going to be doing the, God's work, trying to get trying to pump Tessa Blanchard up while she goes to WWE, and then does great things over there. But yeah, now Tessa Blanchard's back, and it's in TNA is just not good right now. It's just they're trying real hard now to be like a worse version of NXT, and I'm not with it. So I kind of gotta back away. I was a supporter for quite a bit, but now I kind of gotta go. Like, I can't. Your shows haven't been great, and you're making bad decisions all around. So it's like I can't rock with you guys. So that's it.
Can you believe it hasn't even been a year since we've gotten TNA officially back, and it's not just Impact Wrestling?
Yeah.
And they've changed a lot, and if you're a fan of that, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, if that's what you like, that is cool. There is an audience that likes the NXT, the WWE style, and if that is for you, all power to you. But yeah, Tessa Blanchard is kind of my last straw either. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she popped up, and I'm like, really, Tessa Blanchard? Nah, I'm good. I'm good, dog. Like, no, like going to AAA with Conan does not absolve you from anything. No.
Hey man, that means you can watch more New Japan. We can really get into GCW, because GCW worked all of us. They got everybody. Did you hear about that?
Jericho popped up and fucked up Matt Cardona during the show.
Had his AEW shirt on and everything.
Yep.
Got all of us. But the work. But yeah, like that's sad about TNA. If people enjoy it, I'm happy. If you enjoy it, great, good for you. I guess that means we don't have to worry about going to whatever TNA show comes to our part of the neighborhood. So
well, it's man, like it sucks because like where they were going before they had their own identity, right? TNA kind of had its own identity. It was always solid wrestling. They had a little bit of sports entertainment and stuff in there, but it wasn't so much that it was like, oh, they're obviously being WWE now, right?
mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't like that. They had their own style of it. Right? A little more, I won't say backyard, but a little more indie style to it. Now it's like there's some solid wrestling, there's some solid matches, okay matches. Like mainly in the knockouts division. Knockouts division's always being great. But other than that, it's like it's really sports entertaining. Like it's really WWE now. It's really WWE now. And like I was saying earlier, it's not for me. So like, I will back away from it.
Man, that's sad. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I really didn't know about that happening.
Yeah.
Sucks. But every company makes their decisions, right? This is what they want to do. For sure, then that means TNA for sure is like now just another spot for people to get ready to go to WWE then. Like for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, to each their own.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna talk about a good show.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Dynamite. We got to talk about the Continental Classic.
Let's get in. Let's get in that Continental Classic, man.
If y'all don't know how this has been working for the last couple weeks, we touch on Continental Classic first. I might go into a nerd rage about how the tournament has shaped up so far, because I'm really enjoying where this tournament is going. A lot.
Oh man.
First match, we're gonna start with Gold League first. We didn't have a lot of Continental Classic this week, but we had enough to shake some things up for sure.
Oh yeah.
We'll start with Gold League and we'll get into the real shakeups in Blue League.
Oh yeah.
Gold League, our first match was Claudio versus Will Ospreay, which was a barn burner. It was such a great match, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, you expect with how good those two are that you forget that they're in technically two different generations. And this was their first time ever meeting one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Could have fooled me. They were amazing in this match.
I can. So here's the funny thing about Gold and Blue League this week.
Mm-hmm.
I could say that very same thing to every match this week.
Honestly, yeah. It's actually wild when we break it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, Claudio has 6 points. He has lost one match. Will Ospreay had 3 points going into this match. He had only wrestled one match, right? So Ospreay has a lot of wrestling to do. Literally this week, actually. So we'll see how that goes. Match was really good. If you haven't watched the match, if you haven't been watching Continental Classic match, you definitely should. To no one's surprise, because we talked about it last week, Ospreay wins, but he got it he had to roll him up. Ospreay wasn't just beating Claudio straight up. He couldn't knock Claudio out with like a hidden blade or anything like that.
Oh no.
He had to roll that man up.
No. You better surprise that motherfucker.
Oh, he surprised him all right. Claudio got up after the loss. He was very upset. He was very upset. This was Claudio's first loss in this year's Continental Classic, right? So he's stuck at 6 points. Ospreay now is 2-0 with 3 matches left at 6 points. Anything could happen in Gold League right now because it's still very up in the air. There's still a lot of people that still have matches left. Darby still has 3 matches left. Like, I don't know how they're going to do this, but we'll figure it out as we go, I guess. After the match, Claudio was very upset. He attacks Will from behind, and Darby comes out. And Darby, I guess chases off Claudio, technically. I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't think he really chased off Claudio. Claudio just kind of walked off. And then that confirms that we're going to be getting Darby versus Ospreay this week on Dynamite.
Yes.
Darby is currently he's a 1-1 with 3 points, while Ospreay is now tied for first with 6 points. And we got to go on to the other match. We got to talk about the other match because I got to let you talk your shit once I'm done with this match.
Okay.
You got some shit to talk.
Wait, what? Okay, which match?
Ricochet versus Brody King.
Oh shit.
You got some shit to talk. For real. Before this match, Ricochet had a interview backstage, and he was acting different.
Mm-hmm.
He was acting different. He was he said he needed to win Continental Classic. He was like kind of hyped up, and then he pulls out the card.
Oh?
The Hurt Syndicate card.
Oh?
And then he says, all the cards are in my hand. And we're like, oh shit, Proffitt was right. I heard the collective internet, they're like, oh shit, Proffitt was right. We all doubted him, but Proffitt was right.
He was right. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, for this match between Brody King and Ricochet was acting different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ricochet came out real cocky. Also, again, this is the first time ever 1-on-1. Again, you would expect Ricochet and Brody King to like be same. They're both also in different eras. First time ever match. Brody King coming into this has 3 points. Ricochet coming into this has 3 points. They're both 1-1. So they both really need this win. And like we talked about last week, now with Ospreay being at 6, the winner of this match will be tied for first place at 6 also, with a lot of matches left. Ricochet was getting his ass beat this entire match. If we're gonna be completely honest.
Yeah.
Ricochet.
That was.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this match was a good what was it? David versus Goliath match.
Ricochet was jumping around. He was trying to hit Brody with some shit. Every time it didn't work.
Nope.
There's even one point where Ricochet tried to springboard and hit Brody, and he just flung off of Brody's body. And again, Ricochet was acting real cocky. He was acting real different in this match. There was at one point where they were in a corner. The turnbuckle pad gets ripped off of it. Ricochet notices, and we come back into it like a couple minutes later. Brody King's on the turnbuckle. Ricochet's looking at him. He's like, "Oh well," and then kicks Brody's leg out to make him hit the turnbuckle, the metal turnbuckle, with his head. Hits him with two spirit guns. 1, 2, 3. Ricochet, who is acting like a little bit of a douchebag, gets the win and is now 2-1 and is tied with Ospreay and Claudio at 1. There are tiebreakers there, which we'll break into a little bit later. But first, Proffitt.
What did I tell you guys? what did I tell you? Did I see it or did I see it? Right? Like, he's been acting, he's been getting more and more in, to being very like heelish. His attitude's been changing. You hear some of his interviews outside. He's been cutting like some really heelish interviews. And, he was originally that guy that MVP wanted as the Hurt Syndicate. It was either him or Cedric Alexander in WWE, not Hurt Syndicate, but Hurt Business in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Cedric Alexander instead, right? But they're going to get the true Hurt Syndicate because they're going to get Ricochet. So I've been telling you guys he's going to join the Hurt Syndicate. He's going to do it. 10 toes. I stood 10 toes down, man.
I wasn't even there with you, Proffitt. I was like, I don't know, man. He's doing really good as a face. I don't know. And once I saw that card, like I said, immediately I was like, oh shit, Proffitt was right. The second I saw the card, the second in that backstage you pull out the card, I was like, oh shit, Proffitt was right. There it is.
Yeah, he's gonna enjoy it. Not Max Caster, get him out of here. It's gonna be Ricochet, and it's gonna be awesome. That's all. I ain't gonna go too hard, but I was right.
I mean, we're in for it now, right? Because now, getting into how the tiebreakers go, right? Yeah. Right now, the person who's in the best position in the Gold League is Ospreay. Ospreay right now is undefeated. He's 2-0. He still has 3 matches left. One against Darby, which is happening this week. One against Brody, which is going to happen at some point. It has to be this week also. And then he's going to have to wrestle Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance where Ospreay can still be first place. Right now, he is, I guess, mathematically going by tiebreakers. He's pretty much first place, right? He's undefeated with only 2 matches in. He's beaten Claudio now, who was the front runner. Not happening anymore. He's not the front runner. He can still get into the semifinals easily. But if Claudio wants to be first, he's going to need a lot of help. And
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I said yeah.
And Ricochet, he is now 2-1, but he has 2 matches left. Again, Ospreay and Darby Allin. Now, this Darby Ricochet one is going to be real interesting now with how Ricochet is acting in this match with Brody. A lot different than what we thought was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, those 3 are our front runners. There is still a chance for Darby to come in because Darby also has 3 matches. He's 1-1. He's only wrestled against Brody King and Commander. But he's wrestling Claudio, Ospreay, and Ricochet, right? Like, hard pressed. He's wrestling literally the top 3.
Yeah.
Darby would have to be all of them to have tiebreakers to be able to do this.
So, okay. So, I see, here's something I see, right?
Uh-huh.
I see Commander taking out Claudio.
It can happen.
I see Commander taking him out. So Claudio, I see Claudio taking an L to Commander. And I think that would knock that would put Claudio in a bad spot if he loses Commander.
Mm-hmm.
I see Ricochet taking out Osprey though.
That was acting now. It can be a thing, and it can easily, like we said last week, it could be for 1 and 2, easily.
Yep.
Like that could just be whoever's gonna face whoever in the blue league, easily.
Yeah. So like, if it's still gonna look like Kyle Fletcher as like the top of the blue league, I'm seeing Osprey as second place, man. Because I see like that match going on, that semis match between Fletcher and Osprey, and then Ricochet and whoever. It'd probably be, I don't know now. I don't know in Blue League. Blue League got shook up a little bit.
Oh, we gonna get there, but it's different now for sure.
Oh yeah, it's different. Like I was gonna say, yeah, it might be Ricochet and Okada, but I don't know.
It's
I
wild.
have no idea.
Blue League is wild.
Blue League's crazy.
But yeah, Gold League, there's definitely a chance for a Commander to be a spoiler. There's still a chance for Brody King to be a spoiler because Brody King still has to wrestle Osprey. There's a chance for Darby to be a spoiler because Darby has to wrestle literally the top 3 still, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and remember, Darby and Claudio have a story going on, so Darby could also be the one to play spoiler. I think Commander's going to win one of these matches, right? He has to win either Brody or Claudio, one of these two for sure. He's not going to go out with 0 points. No way.
I feel like he's going to beat Claudio, and then Brody's going to murder him.
Probably.
And then Claudio will lose again to Darby.
Yeah. So you saying Claudio might take 2 more? He might be stuck at 6.
I think Claudio's going to be stuck at 6.
That you know what? That would help Commander, but we can officially say now that Commander's path to getting into the semifinals, it's pretty much gone, right? So Brody, he can get 9 points. Brody is wrestling Osprey. He has a chance, but Commander's here to play spoiler at this point. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. The most he can get right now is 6 points. The only person that's in the top 3 that he hasn't wrestled yet is Osprey. So Commander's done. He can still play spoiler, but it's gonna be hard for him to even get into the semifinals because I'm guessing semifinals is gonna need like at least 9 points, and he can't even get there. So
right, he hasn't the person in Gold League he hasn't wrestled is Claudio. That's in the top.
Oh yeah, Claudio. My bad, Claudio. I said Osprey. So he has a chance, but it's very slim.
Yeah. Well, he's not going. He's gonna spoil somebody. I feel like it's gonna be Claudio. And right, Claudio's gonna lose his shit and just try to kill him in the ring after that.
right now, he's the only one that can. Commander and Claudio. That's the only one that Commander's wrestling in the top 3 still, because he's already wrestled Osprey. He's already wrestled Ricochet. Lost to both of them. Darby's probably not going to be in the top 3. And the only other match that Commander has is Brody King, who is now also on the back foot with only 3 points and 2 matches left. But I think that's all for Gold League. I think we can go over to Blue because Blue League. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
We're gonna talk about the other match first. The one that is sadly. It was expected, sadly. Okada, as our Continental Champion, Kazuchika Okada, wrestled the Beast Mortos. And let me tell you, Mortos made Okada work.
Yep.
Mortos said, you ain't getting out of this just by skating by. You gonna have to wrestle me. And he did.
Yep.
Only to lose. He did lose. But this was a really good match from Okada in this. I don't think people have been like kind of on Okada. I saw someone was like, "Oh my god, Okada's the workhorse of the Elite." I was like, "You idiots! Do you not know who Okada is?"
Do you not know who he is? Yeah, like, oh boy.
But yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into the match. The match is really good though. Okada did win this, which means Okada is now at 7 points. So he only has one match left, this is also the wild part about Blue League. Blue League progressed so much further than Gold League has right now. It's wild.
Yeah.
Okada has one match left against Shelton Benjamin. So Okada is either stuck at 7 or is getting 10, right? Let me talk about everyone else first before we get to the spoiler of spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Right now Mortos is kind of in the same place as Commander. I guess now, I mean, he's wrestling Mark Briscoe and Shelton Benjamin. With how Mark is going, which we'll talk about in a second. That could be a spoiler match very easily now. And then he's wrestling Shelton Benjamin. We'll see how that goes. Shelton still has 3 matches left.
Yes.
He still has to wrestle Okada. He still has to wrestle Daniel Garcia. He still has to wrestle Mortos.
Mm-hmm.
So Shelton Benjamin has the potential to get to 12. And last week, it felt like 12 was not the magic number. 12 was most likely the number for second place, right? That's how it felt last week.
Right.
That's not the case anymore.
Not this week.
Because we got to talk about that last match before we get into these other matches. We got to talk about Shelton because Shelton is in a very good position right now. He's only lost one match. But we have to talk about Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe.
Ooh, boy.
Kyle Fletcher coming to this match had 9 points. We had talked about him dominating Blue League. He had already beaten Okada. And he had already beaten, by cheating, Shelton Benjamin. Right? Those were the top 2 people that were thinking that they were going to go into the semifinals for Blue League. Outside of Fletcher. I think people thought Fletcher was too because of how great he is right now, right? But no one expected Fletcher to beat Okada, right? Fletcher is on a high coming to this match. Mark Briscoe, at this point, had 3 points. And he was 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Briscoe is not 1-2 anymore. Mark Briscoe has shot up to 3rd place by beating Kyle Fletcher. With in 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Down to the wire.
Yep.
It was at a point where everyone thought this could be a tie. Because a tie would have put Fletcher at 10 points. Which means he would have got 13. Which is still out of range for everybody else. Right? Nope. Mark Briscoe beat his ass.
Yeah.
In a really good match too, by the way. Because Mark has been on it. Man, let me tell you. That shakes some shit up in Blue League.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here's how this breaks down. Kyle Fletcher right now sitting at 9 points. He is 3-1, right? Kyle Fletcher coming to the match with Mark Briscoe literally needed just one win to cement himself into the finals. Into the semifinals, I mean. One win. And he would have been able to cruise against Garcia. He had 12, he would have been good, right? Nah. Now, the match with Garcia for Kyle Fletcher is a must-win. Because Garcia also has 2 matches left. One against Kyle Fletcher and one against Shelton Benjamin. Right? So, Garcia is sitting at 4 points. So he can win one of these matches, he'll be at 7 with Okada. He wins against Fletcher, he'll shoot past Fletcher at 10 points. Fletcher will be stuck at 9 because Fletcher only has one match with Garcia left. Okada's in the same boat. If Okada beats Shelton, bumps up to 10 points. Right now, Fletcher is still in a very good position because he's still in the lead. But Fletcher's going to have to cheat his ass off to beat Daniel Garcia to make sure he can get into the finals. Semifinals. Keep on doing that. Semifinals. And we got to talk about Mark Briscoe. Because now, Mark Briscoe holds a tiebreaker over Kyle Fletcher. So now, Mark Briscoe is in a position where he can get into the semifinals with some help. If Garcia is able to beat Kyle Fletcher, and if Mark Briscoe is able to beat Mortos, that will put him at 9 points, which will jet him ahead of Fletcher because he has the tiebreaker over Kyle Fletcher. And if Daniel Garcia wins that match against Kyle Fletcher, that'll put him at 7. He'll wrestle against Shelton. That has the potential to put him at 10. Also puts him past Fletcher. Okada also has to wrestle Shelton Benjamin. We'll put him at 10. Has the potential to put him past Kyle Fletcher. Right now, Kyle Fletcher's not sitting pretty like he was before.
Mm.
And everyone else, except for Beast Mortos, has a chance to pass Fletcher and knock him completely out of the semifinals. Completely.
Yep.
But his destiny's still in his own hands. Kyle Fletcher needs to beat Garcia, put himself at 12. He's guaranteed to be in at that point. But he needs to beat Garcia. That's where we are right now in Blue League.
Yeah, Blue League is nuts. But there's some things I see about to happen.
Uh-huh.
I see Briscoe losing to Mortos.
More than likely, yeah, I agree with you there.
Mortos is going to lose to Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting, but I do think Shelton Benjamin's going to beat Danny Garcia. He's either going to beat him flat out or it's going to be a draw. And it's going to put Daniel Garcia in just like a weird spot.
That would suck for Garcia, because if he gets a draw there, let's say he wrestles Shelton first, right? Because we don't really know the order yet. If Garcia wrestles Shelton and that puts him at if they get a tie, Garcia will be at 5 points, which means if he beats Fletcher, he'll get 8. And with how the Continental Classic works with these points, that's not going to work, because he'll be under Kyle Fletcher points wise. He'll have the tiebreaker, but he won't have as many points. Those 2 ties would really hurt Garcia a lot.
Yeah, it would hurt him a lot. But that's how crazy Blue League is right now.
It's literally the Wild West right now. Like, we went from last week, Kyle Fletcher just had to win 1 match to be guaranteed, which, they took from your boy. Proffitt, you had a Ricochet. You called that over everybody. Uh-huh. They listened to our numbers last week for sure, because they were breaking out tiebreakers that they didn't do last year, by the way. So they're listening to us. But yeah, Blue League right now is in a very interesting spot, and like we said, we've talked about him a couple times, so it's not a surprise. Shelton can still hit 12 if he just wins out these next 3 matches. He can hit 12. And if he hits 12 and Fletcher hits 12, there's your 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. Mark Briscoe's total is 9, which I agree with you. I don't think he's going to beat Mortos. So he's going to be stuck at 6. I'm assuming that Shelton Benjamin is going to be able to beat Garcia. And I'm assuming that Kyle Fletcher is going to be going to the semifinals. So I think that Garcia is going to lose to Fletcher also. So I think Okada's going to hit 10. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, no, he can't. Because if Okada hits 10, that means Shelton loses the match. And if Shelton wants to get to the finals, he needs to win out.
He has to win out.
Ooh, that's interesting. So I think even though the points are like set up really weird, I think the top 3 right now, in no order, I'm not going to put them in order, is Okada, Fletcher, and Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin, because he has the potential to just hit 12 by hitting 3 matches, right? Okada's in a good place right now because he has 7. He just needs 1 more win, and he'll probably be second place. Fletcher needs 1 more win. He'll be first place with 9 to go into 12. Those 3 are in the best positions right now. Everyone else can play spoiler. Garcia can make it. Briscoe can make it. But those 3 are set up to go to the semifinals currently.
Right. Yeah. I don't see Garcia making it.
Nah.
But who knows? He can pull out some upsets this week. That'll be neat to see. But yeah, I don't see. I don't see him. Well, it would be 10 points if he won both of those matches. Yeah, no, I don't see him getting those.
Yeah, no, because he has to wrestle. He's literally wrestling Fletcher and Shelton Benjamin. Garcia is.
Shelton. Yeah.
So it is he is in a very rough spot. That tiebreaker with Okada really hurt him. That tiebreaker also kind of hurt Okada too, but you know how Okada was. He was definitely gonna be able to figure something out. Even with the loss of Fletcher, he was gonna figure something out.
Yeah. He's got Shelton Benjamin. Oh God.
Yeah, Okada's last match is Shelton, which is rough. That's probably gonna be the second place match more than anything. Okada versus Shelton.
Yeah, because we'll see Shelton get to 9 points, and then it's going to be whoever wins that match either takes second or first or second.
Yeah, I mean, there's a potential because so let's say Shelton beats Garcia, right? Garcia beats Hook at 4 points. If Garcia beats Fletcher, that'll put him at 7, but that will take Fletcher out of the equation. And depending on what happens with Shelton and Okada, Fletcher could not be in the semifinals. Of course, if we're going by story, he's going to be in the semifinals. But we got to talk about the numbers, right? Story-wise, he's going to be in the semifinals. We know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if we're talking numbers, there's a potential where he is not there.
Yeah, like he's 100% going to be in semifinals because before the match, Don Callis was talking about. He's like, "Hey, and we're gonna beat Will Ospreay," and it's like, wait, you guys haven't even you haven't won the division yet. Hold on, Will Ospreay hasn't won his division, hasn't gotten there yet. So hold on, guys.
Yeah, Ospreay still got 3 matches too, so Ospreay still got to work. Ospreay can easily lose all 3 of these matches because it's against Darby, Ricochet, and Brody. He can easily lose those 3 matches. I don't think he will, but he could.
He's gonna lose one.
It's gonna be weird. He's gonna lose to fucking Darby for some reason.
Nah, he's gonna lose to Ricochet.
Ugh. Messed up Ricochet. But yeah, man, that's where we are right now in the Continental Classic. If Full Gear is this week, right? Not Full Gear. World's End is this week, right?
What? No, it's the 28th.
28th? We gotta hold it. Okay, I was about to say. I was like, because some of these people gotta wrestle 3 matches. It's not gonna look good. But okay, yeah, we got a week. Some of these people are gonna have to pull some double duties and stuff like that because we gotta fill this bracket up.
Oh, I think this week is just gonna be it's gonna be a fuck ton of gold league.
We're gonna get to the point where we're most likely gonna know who's gonna be in the finals or semifinals for blue for sure by the end of this week. And then gold, we got 2 people that still need to wrestle 3 matches. We'll see what happens. But that's it. That's the C2. We're looking really good this week, setting up for a crazy finale in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, man. It's gonna. I can't wait to see where it goes. It's been a highlight of my week every week is watching all the C2 matches.
Mm-hmm.
And just, watching the shows in general because the shows have been pretty damn good.
They really have.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta talk about one more tournament real quick before we get into the actual shows. Tournament season AEW.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta talk about that Dynasty International Women's Cup qualifier.
Hell yeah.
Between Jamie Hayter and Willow Nightingale.
Yes, sir.
What a match. That whole collision was great.
That was a war.
Willow had a bloody nose. They were struggling. They were fighting. But Willow takes it.
Mm-hmm. The representative of AEW takes it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have Willow from AEW, Athena from ROH.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know who the other 2 are yet.
They said the name of the CMLL person. I forget what her name was. I should have remembered that, but I don't. And we don't know who it is from Stardom yet.
Okay.
But yeah, Jamie Hayter, Tokyo Dome's not for you. You got other things to worry about.
Yeah, you got a Julia Hart problem.
Julia came back out after this match. After lights went off a couple times, by the way, during this match, which was wild.
Yeah.
But Julia came back, DDT'd Hayter, walked out, we finally got it. We did talk about this when we got that first Julia Hart thing. We were like, it'd be cool if Julia wrestled Jamie. And here we are.
Yeah. She DDT'd her in heels too.
Yeah. Julia's gonna be a problem, bro. Julia's already improved leaps and bounds, but now she's back. Oh god.
Yeah.
And she's creepier than ever.
It's gonna be great.
But that's really it. That's really it. Tournament season. That's it.
Yeah, that's it's shaping up to be a crazy season.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Now you know what what we got to do next.
Yep, we gotta hit that good old AEW Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Rest of the show. All right, so if you guys haven't like the past couple of weeks, or you're new and you don't know like the format that we've been doing for specifically the Continental Classic, you run through the Continental Classic first, like all the matches through there, and then we talk about everything that's happening on Dynamite minus those matches. So, we talk about everything storyline wise and it just like where everything is shaping up to be. So with that, start out with this AEW Dynamite. And man, what a way to open Dynamite with this tag match.
Man.
this match was kind of bonkers, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of crazy. With Pac and John Moxley versus Jay White and Orange Cassidy. Now, if you couldn't tell, the way these guys were wrestling, they were wrestling like it was a go-home show, and it wasn't. They were going crazy this whole match. Well, understandable because you got Pac in the match. I mean, when does Pac not go crazy? Never. So there was from the start, it was like Orange Cassidy is in. He wipes out the Death Riders. The Death Riders eventually, get their bearings, and then they start putting the beat down on Orange Cassidy. Then, Jay White gets in the mix. He does his thing. He beats him down, but eventually it got towards the end. And towards the end, who interferes other than the Hangman? So, this match had pretty much no contest.
That son of a bitch.
Orange Cassidy and Jay White had it won, pretty much. But Hangman was like, I can't wait. And he just decided to jump in and fuck up Moxley and just beat the hell out of him. And as he's beating the hell out of him, he's looking behind him. And people are like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, what, Hangman? I don't care. And he just started beating him down again. But at a certain point, the Death Riders, of course, leave. But there are some things that happen there, like Orange Cassidy hit Jay White with the orange punch on this. And then, Jay White was like, oh, you're going to fucking hit me? Okay. Hits Orange Cassidy with the Blade Runner. And then he's like, and then, like Moxley and crew, they're out. And they're like, yeah, we did that. Well, it's like, nah, Moxley, you didn't do that. You didn't cause that. It was just a mistake, dude. Come on, man. You can't take credit for everything. But no, overall, just to start the show, this match was crazy. It was good. It was really good. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I noticed that they kept on saying like the Team AEW was going up against the Death Riders, and if we're gonna be completely honest, there's only one person in Team AEW that's in that situation right now, and it's Orange Cassidy. Hangman just wants the world title. Switchblade just wants the world title. There's no Team AEW here. That's why they were able to turn on each other so easily. Well, turn on each other. Hangman and Switchblade have not liked each other this entire time. And Orange Cassidy shouldn't have messed up, man. You gotta the trope of wrestling. You can't hit your partner.
Yep.
Can't do it, because no matter who is at fault, no matter what happens, the partner will always blame the person who hit them. That's just pro wrestling.
Yep, Pro Wrestling 101.
Mm-hmm.
And then then we find out it's a 4-way. So the new world title match is going to be a 4-way between Moxley, Hangman, Orange Cassidy, and why did I almost say Wheeler Unit? Jesus Christ. And Jay White.
Get him out of there.
Get Wheeler out of there.
The one thing that shocked me about this, like I guess I should have known, but Moxley being the one to challenge it was interesting to me. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Moxley was like, "All your egos are ready to go," and then just decided to, I guess, quote unquote, put his ego aside by beating 3 people. So I don't know.
I mean, there's no way you're going to stop Jay White's ego. It's just not going to happen.
Hangman, how he is right now too? No. And Orange Cassidy, got that big ego too. I know he don't like to show it as the egomaniac also.
Yep. So right after that, we got a cool vignette again of Bandito doing his thing, just suplexing people
in the desert.
In the desert. So good. And then we get Christian Cage. He starts talking shit, of course. And he's like, "Oh, interesting. It's a 4-way, huh?" And he's like, he's like, "Lucky for you, I hate everybody in this match." So it doesn't matter who wins the championship. I'm the champion because I have the contract, right? So as he is talking and saying that, Hook is in the background. And Christian Cage is about to walk out the door, and Hook pulls him. Hook gets through the door and starts beating up Christian Cage. Probably one of the more entertaining parts of the show. And then Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne jumped in, and then they broke up the fight, and Christian Cage ran off. So next up, we have the backstage segment with Ricochet and Renee. Ricochet is pretty much talking about what we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff like the C2 is the reason why he came to AEW, and that he holds all the cards, and he pulled out that that business card that we keep talking about, the MVP business card. So he's running hard business.
Yeah, he's joining.
Yeah, he's 100% joining.
It's either he's joining or this is a long con somehow. But he's acting real weird for this to be a long con at this point. It's probably joining.
No, he's joining. He's 100%. They're taking winners, not losers. Next up, MJF is pulling up. He's just coming out of his limo. Renee must have ran from Ricochet straight to Matt Cardona. And you know what? Matt Cardona, cuts another promo. They're hyping up Final Battle, his match against Final Battle against Jericho. And he's like, instead of waiting around, he wants to fight somebody at Rampage. He wants to fight Brian Keith. So we got the match between him and Brian Keith on Rampage. Next is probably most questionable match on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Not questionable, but it wasn't great. Not as great as it can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have the MJF stuff in there. It probably would be a great match, but it got the MJF stuff in there. It's weird and doesn't feel right. It's Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. The winner faces MJF at World's End. So hopefully this is like the lead up and the blow off. The match at World's End is the blow off, and they don't fight each other ever again. So yeah, like this match it had a lot of back and forth. It was kind of reminiscent to like some of their old matches, or like one of their black and gold matches in NXT, where they were just going for it, man. And Kyle O'Reilly, he was itching. He was going for that ankle. He was doing, every time he had a chance, he would go for Adam Cole's ankle, trying to, take out Adam Cole and make him tap. Eventually, Adam Cole won. And like right after like Adam Cole wins, MJF tries to jump up on the apron, tries to attack him. Adam Cole gets the best, and then like Taven and Bennett run out, and MJF runs out and runs to the back. Not really run to the back, but he's walking through the crowd to the back, talking shit to Adam Cole, and Adam Cole reached out his hand to Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle O'Reilly was like, kind of like, fuck you, and just left the ring and left him in the Undisputed Kingdom just in the ring. And Adam Cole's like, he has that look like, dude, what the fuck? Come on now. It wasn't a terrible match. I'll put it at that. It wasn't a terrible match. I just think the circumstances of the match just make it weird. The whole MJF and Adam Cole thing is just the only story is not hit. It ain't hit.
I'm assuming that there's some kind of twist because this is the way they keep on doing this is weird, right? And I might be misremembering things, so please like make sure Proffitt to correct me on some things, right? If we're going through the details of this, we can talk about what happened last year where Adam Cole turned on MJF, right? We have that whole thing while Adam Cole was still, in the wheelchair. He couldn't do anything. That kind of stopped us. We're here now, right? Wasn't Kyle O'Reilly's whole thing was that he wanted him to stop. He wanted Cole to stop going at MJF because people would get hurt. And then he decided to say that he wanted to fight MJF. So wouldn't that have meant that he was mad, even though Kyle O'Reilly was still mad, despite the fact that he was doing what he didn't want Adam Cole to do, sacrificing one of his friends to wrestle MJF. Right?
Yes, kind of. Right. Yeah. I don't know. This shit's weird, man.
Right? It's weird. So this whole thing, Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly right now is mad at Adam Cole because Roddy got hurt, right? But if we're gonna take facts into the situation, Adam Cole was gonna try to wrestle MJF. Like he got the same stipulation that Roddy did. It was just that, Roddy won 3 matches and Cole didn't. For whatever, we don't have to talk about the reason. We know he kind of got cheated out of it, but he didn't win 3 matches. And he cheated on Roddy, and I know he wasn't there for Roddy at the pay-per-view once Roddy got hurt. Like, he was there too late. I get that. But Kyle O'Reilly is also trying to put himself in that situation, and he's still mad at Adam Cole for going to wrestle MJF, even though Kyle said he didn't want any of his friends getting hurt for this. So that means Kyle was going to sacrifice himself because he was mostly going to get hurt if he would have wrestled MJF.
Right, he would have been the next victim.
So then I don't know if it's just me thinking logically. Maybe I'm missing something. I could be missing something, but Kyle O'Reilly should be like happy that Cole is now in the position to wrestle MJF, right? Because now there's no one else getting hurt other than Adam Cole if Adam Cole gets hurt, right? This is why I think there has to be some kind of twist, because this whole story is weird. Like a lot of it, like from, again, like I said, I could be missing points, but from the standpoint of what we have, a lot of this doesn't make sense. So there has to be like some kind of like weird twist that we're gonna get at the pay-per-view. At this point, I don't even know what twist would be there that would be satisfying. Mm-hmm. But this is just a really weird story. It feels like they don't know. Like, sure, they might have this figured out, but right now it feels like they don't really know what's going on, and it doesn't feel like a proper story right now.
Yeah, I think the only part that's it's really disjointed about it is the fact that there's any like animosity from Kyle O'Reilly at all. There was some in the beginning when Kyle O'Reilly first joined, right? and that was a long time ago when he first joined AEW. And didn't want to be any part. He want any part of. Well, no, that was when he came back. When he came back, he didn't want any part of the Undisputed Kingdom or Adam Cole.
Right.
And he went with the conglomeration, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before that, before he got hurt, I don't think he was really well. It was him and who's the other guy's name? Bobby Fish.
Yeah, Bobby Fish was around. Like he had left a little bit before a little bit before Kyle got hurt. But it was him, Roddy. It was Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and who am I forgetting? Roddy Strong. They were doing the thing a little bit, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, there's nothing like hinting from back then that Kyle O'Reilly would have any type of still would have that animosity, right? Like, there's nothing leading from back then. I just that's what the confusing part is. It's like, wait, why are you pissed off at him so much? Why are you pissed off at Adam Cole so much? Like, besides the thing that happened, like, you've been pissed at him ever since you came back. Like, you don't want no piece of part of him. And that part's one of the parts that hasn't really been explained.
Like, it's weird, right? Because we did see like little backstage things here and there of Kyle O'Reilly, like watching Adam Cole and watching Roderick Strong after they had kind of did the turn, right, where they're faces now.
Yeah.
And like, he went from like, oh, they're pretty good now, to still being mad at Adam Cole. And again, we said it every week. Adam Cole's an asshole. He will always be an asshole. But right now, he's not really doing anything to justify any, like, all this is his fault because he did turn on MJF because he said, oh, MJF is going to turn on me before I want to turn on him before he turns on me. Right? But this is just Cole's fault. And at this point, this doesn't have anything to do with Kyle O'Reilly. Like, sure, Roddy Strong got hurt because of this. Yes. Right? But, bro, it's not your business. You already said you didn't want to be a part of them. Move on. You're with the conglomeration. Just move on.
Right. Like, why you got your nose in the business? What are you doing?
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly's the one who came out there talking shit to Adam Cole. Like,
right.
Adam Cole didn't call Kyle O'Reilly out there that first week to talk to him. Like, Kyle O'Reilly just came out and he just stuck his nose into this. And then he's mad that he lost a match. Like, bro, I'm sorry. You lost to Adam Cole. You don't get to wrestle MJF. I'm sorry. Like, you have... until Adam Cole actually does something other than betray MJF last year, right now you have nothing to be mad at him about.
Right. And Adam Cole is, the funny part is Adam Cole's playing the role as a viewer, right? He's like, well, why the fuck are you mad at me?
Yeah, bro. That's why I'm convinced there has to be some kind of like weird turn, weird twist, because this can't be straight up. This can't be like straight up thing, right? Like, something's gonna happen between Cole and MJF. Like, something has to happen, because if this is just straight up where MJF either beats Adam Cole or Adam Cole beats MJF at the pay-per-view, like, cool. You guys did this whole dance for a year just to be back where you were, except one of you now has the diamond ring again. Like, cool. I don't know, man.
Yeah. So we'll see. I like I said, I feel like out of all the stories, this is the weakest. Out of all.
It's definitely melodramatic for the sake of being dramatic, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to it at this point and we missed something, let us know in the comments. Like, let's get a conversation about this. I feel like we're not the only ones that are confused about this. Maybe we're the only ones that are actually willing to say something about it. But this story is definitely disjointed and it's not working. So if you have suggestions or you have ideas or something that we're missing, throw them in the comments and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so next up we had FTR. They were backstage hyping up the Fight for the Fallen. Of course, Fight for the Fallen is going to be the first AEW show that's going to be streamed on Max. Thank God I can cancel Sling TV after after this one because I already have Max. So yeah, fuck you, Sling TV. I'm out. But yeah, it'll be the first major show on Max, and yeah, they've been hyping it up. They're hyping it up a lot. And you'll probably hear us talk about them again on Collision.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Jericho hyping up the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. So, and he talks about Cardone's challenge where he's challenging Brian Keith on on Rampage. They're gonna, of course, they fight on Rampage, and he talks about, hey, on Ring of Honor TV, and on WatchROH.com. By the way, guys, go to WatchROH.com. It was him and Jericho are going to be signing the contract, and yeah, it's just more Jericho hyping up Ring of Honor, getting that TV deal cooking. We're stirring it up over here.
They definitely might announce that at the pay-per-view, bro. With the way they keep on pushing, because they never push Ring of Honor pay-per-views like this.
No, they've never done that.
So they're gonna announce them at that pay-per-view for sure. So we'll see what it is. I'll be watching it. I was already gonna watch Final Battle anyway, so I'll be there.
Final Battle has always been historically really good.
Yep. Even if I don't watch Ring of Honor for that year, even back in the day, I'll find some time to watch Final Battle. Always.
Yeah. It's always been good. So next up is the interview with Darby Allin with Tony Schiavone, and it's more Darby Allin going, "I love this shit," and busting himself open. He busted his mouth open.
I don't know why he's punching himself in the face, bro. I don't get it. No.
And it's pretty much just same Darby Allin stuff. This company gave me a chance. If there was no AEW, there'd be no Darby Allin type deal. And he's pretty much saying that he's coming after. He's going to start going after Moxley. So a little after that, so Private Party was backstage. They were and they were talking to they were backstage, and then Leo Rush and Action Andretti showed up. Leo and Action Andretti challenged him for the tag titles, and Top Flight came in and they're like, no, you guys don't deserve a title shot, we do. So Private Party was like, okay, you two fight each other, and whoever wins will fight them for the tag title.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what a match! By the way, that was like one of the best matches of the week. Like versus Action Andretti and Leo Rush.
Bro, that tag match?
That tag match was like
my God. We are gonna gush about that when we get to Collision. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Just just fair warning. So like right after this, Renee once again, she was backstage with Anna Jay and Mercedes Moné. Because they're going to be going against each other this week on Dynamite. And Anna Jay is like, hey, I know I'm the underdog in this match, but all I need is 3 seconds, and I'll be the TBS champion. So she, did the 1, 2, 3 tap and did the third tap on her belt and left. And before that, Mercedes was talking about, hey, when I was 26, I was already a 5-time world champion. So what are you doing?
Yikes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be on next week. Anna Jay versus Mercedes. I hope the match is great. I hope the match is really good.
Can I give you some breaking news real quick? Since we're talking about
Nope.
Mercedes and we're going to be talking about someone else.
Uh-oh. What up?
There was a match announced for Wrestle Dynasty about a few minutes ago at the time of our recording.
Oh, shit. What do we got?
Mina Shirakawa versus Mercedes Moné, Wrestle Dynasty.
What?
Yep. Bro, I'm telling you, since you're not watching TNA no more, come on with me, bro. Come on, that New Japan. Come on over. We're eating over here right now.
You're eating good over there, man.
Yes.
See, TNA got me. Man, TNA will get you starving, okay?
Come on over. Come on over. Get them baked potatoes. Get them French fries. Come on over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotta get all of them. You turning butter over here.
Yeah.
So is it going to be for the New Japan Strong title?
I believe so. I don't know the details. I'm going to be watching the show probably tomorrow, and we'll for sure be talking about it. But all I know is they're going to be wrestling till at Wrestle Dynasty. It has to be for sure for the New Japan Strong title, more than likely, because Mercedes just wrestled Hazuki tonight in Long Beach.
Okay.
But that's it. I had the news. I just saw it. I had to share it.
Well, that was breaking news for you guys. Breaking news, damn it.
Yes.
So, speaking of Mina Shirakawa, the final match of AEW Dynamite was the women's championship match between Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. Man, that was good. This was a good ass match. They were hitting each other. They weren't afraid to hit each other. They were going hard. There was a lot of I will say this. Whatever Mariah May gave Mina gave back.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like the match was cut short though, because there was like it kind of rushed at the end. So the end of the match was, Mariah did a headbutt, then spiked Mina with the Storm Zero. She got the pinfall for the win. But after the match, old Toni Storm music starts playing, and out comes Toni Storm. And when she came out, it looked like she was about to cry. But she came out and, that was the end of the show. And that was the end of the show.
Can we
What an ending. What an ending.
Man, oh man. I wanna give praise to Mina and Mariah, right? This might have been my favorite match on Dynamite. Despite all the other stuff that they had on here, the match was so good.
Yeah.
I do wish they had more time. It definitely did feel like that they were kind of rushing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But God bless, was this a match?
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that we need from Mariah. Like, Mariah has already been top of the top, right? And I think people are finally starting to really see how good she is. Like, it took a little while for people to really get it, but people, I think, are now fully understanding how good Mariah May is. Especially with that promo she did after Dynamite on YouTube.
Yeah.
The promo's so good, they put it on TV for Collision. They never do that.
No, they never do that.
No, I'm just saying. Definitely have to give Mariah May her flowers. We've talked about it before. Like, she's been in our podcast titles before. Like, Mariah May is a very worthy women's champion. It's crazy. With how stacked the roster is, you would expect it'd be someone more established. But Mariah got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then don't get me started on Mina, bro.
Oh, Mina is... What is there to say? Like, what is there to say? Mina is fantastic.
She's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Like, I'll just go on the thing and say this week, all the women's matches delivered.
Oh, they showed out for sure.
They were going hard this week. Every single one of them, even the squash matches were going hard.
To-
Even the squashes went hard.
Toni came back and wrestled twice immediately.
Yeah.
Is it okay? Is this the part of the podcast where we can talk about our Toni Storm observations?
Let's save it for Rampage.
Okay.
Which year?
Okay. I will say this before we get into Rampage.
Uh-huh.
Tony's a great actor. But we'll talk about that more when we get into Rampage and Collision though.
Yeah.
Rampage winner is coming. No Continental Classic matches on here, but we had some stuff on here for sure. We start with Matt Cardona versus Brian Keith. Jericho's on commentary, as per usual. Oh, you know what? Hold, before we go, main event, Dynamite. Shout out to Thunder Rosa, because she had those signs. That was hilarious.
Yep.
The WTF sign when Toni Storm came out, hilarious. Already meme potential. But we'll talk more about Thunder Rosa later. We'll get back into the match with Cardona and Brian Keith. This one is what you can expect. If you haven't seen Matt Cardona since he left WWE, if this is like one of your first times seeing him, even outside of doing the his TNA run and outside of his GCW run, he's pretty great now. He's still very basic, but very good at what he does. And he was in there with the Bounty Hunter. You know the Bounty Hunter is going to step up all the time.
Yep.
They had a really good match. Cardona did win this match though. He got a little heated. He was a little mad during it, but did end up getting the win. I guess Cardona might have thought this ended up being harder than it really was, or harder than it was going to be. So, I mean, Cardona still got the win, and he's now prepped to wrestle Jericho at Final Battle next week for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Watch ROH.com.
Yes, sir.
Then, after this, actually, do you have any thoughts on Cardona and Brian Keith?
I actually thought it was great, and actually, I'm going to add a little something to to what you said about Matt Cardona. I'm actually, well, it's more like a an extra added part. If this is him like starting to step into AEW, I like the idea of him finally getting onto a bigger show. Because he could do it. He could do the guy has changed himself so much and did like so many things. Like when the other company left him out in the water, and it was like, "Oh, you suck, get out,"
Mm-hmm.
type deal. And he reinvented himself. I think he deserves another shot at another big, like another big company, like for everybody to see, like not just hitting in the indies anymore. As much as he's done great stuff in the indies and TNA when he was doing the stuff in TNA, I think he needs to get to that. He needs to go somewhere. Like, I think AEW is a good fit for him.
Somewhere he can be really good at.
ROH.
Once they get that TV deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, just piggyback on what you said. Yeah, Cardona has really set though. He's really improved himself. Like, I talked about, you just talked about it. He's pretty good right now. So like, if you definitely haven't given him a chance, if this is your first time seeing him in a while, make sure you go to watchroh.com next week and see him in the main event against Chris Jericho. Final Battle, Hammerstein Ballroom, New York City. Watchroh.com.
Yeah. And I like his theme song too.
Next up, we had our returning Toni Storm against probably the women's MIP, most improved player, Harley Cameron. This being Toni's first match in a little while, since I think her last match was in Japan. She's back. She's quote unquote not timeless currently. Quote unquote. The match did go kind of quick. There was like a little bit of back and forth, but it wasn't anything super crazy. Toni kind of came in with all of her greatest hits, and she was able to beat Harley 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. There was a point in there where she almost did the timeless, but she stopped herself and went back to Toni Storm, and has been, rock on Toni Storm, yeah. That's the first time. This is the first time I got to see her. We're waiting till Collision, because Collision is when we really got it. We want to wait till Collision for the Toni Storm talk.
Yep.
All right, we'll wait till Collision, because there's some thoughts.
Yeah, I put out a tweet on that too.
Do you have any thoughts on Toni Storm versus Harley Cameron?
No, I thought it was it was good for what it was, and it's I see what they were doing. They're planting all them seeds right there. Like, you weren't watching Collision, you just skipped it. You wouldn't see all those seeds that being planted in the Toni Storm story. So yeah, it's cool.
We got some at the end of Dynamite too, when she was sitting there crying. But again, I'll wait. I thought about the theory the same time you did, and I got really deep into it when I watched Collision. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll get there though. The next match was Deonna Purrazzo powerbombing the shit out of Shazza McKenzie.
Poor Shazza.
That's really the match. And she hit that armbar that she does. Almost looked like she broke Shazza's arm. By the way, she was cranking that thing. But yeah, that's it. Deonna Purrazzo hit that powerbomb again. I think it was Matt Menard who was excited to see it again. I was glad to see it again. I think she's just gonna start doing it. She's gonna start dropping people on the back of their heads now. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts here before we move on?
So one, congrats getting back to America, Shazza McKenzie.
Yes.
You hear her story. She had a long ass road to get back. So it's really cool that she got back and she's again wrestling in AEW. So yeah, really cool. But poor Shazza, she got work this week because that's not her first match. The second one's on Collision.
Yeah, she also got worked by an actress.
Yeah.
But yeah, after this, Tony Schiavone's in the ring with the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher, Lance Archer, and Takeshita. Don Callis is talking a lot of shit. Kyle Fletcher's talking a lot of shit. This is working for Kyle Fletcher because he is getting booed just as bad as Don Callis is getting booed.
Yes.
Working out perfectly. Poor Mark Davis, though. We'll talk about him, though. Basically, Don Callis was bigging up how good things have been going for Kyle Fletcher in the C2. He's been bigging up how good things are going for Takeshita as the international champion. Things were looking up. They're really happy. It was hard to hear them because the crowd was booing real loud. Good on you, crowd. In Kansas City, that was a good crowd. And Kyle Fletcher took the mic, called Ospreay a bum, and said he was gonna beat the shit out of Mark Briscoe, which we talked about earlier. That did not happen. And then before Don Callis could finish his sentence doing what he was doing, Powerhouse Hobbs music hits, and he comes out with Mark Davis to set up our main event, which is Powerhouse Hobbs Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Davis versus Takeshita and Lance Archer. If y'all haven't watched this match, it's a really good match. Very good. I feel like Davis came out here and he was kind of motivated a little bit more, because I'm pretty sure Mark Davis can hear what we're all saying. And funny enough, do you listen to AEW Unrestricted, their podcast?
No.
Private Party was on that podcast last week, right? and they send a shot at Kyle Fletcher because he was like, oh yeah, because you know how Zay was like riding by himself for a little while Quinn was out. They sent like a little shot at Kyle Fletcher saying like, oh, I didn't leave my tag team partner down like Kyle Fletcher did. I'm like, ooh. But yeah, other than that, this was like I said, really good match between the two tag teams. We got a really good preview of Hobbs and Takeshita. Definitely want to see more of that, which we will pretty soon. The crazy part is Hobbs pin Archer for the win.
Nice.
With that spine buster. Takeshita tries to hit Hobbs in the back with a cheap shot. Didn't work. Hobbs hit that spine buster on Takeshita. Takeshita's laid out. Hobbs is holding the International Championship above his head. And that's how Rampage ends. Any thought on these last two segments?
No, it was a fantastic episode for Rampage.
Now we go to Collision. And how we start is, I guess, Ospreay and Darby were backstage on Wednesday after Darby came out and quote unquote saved Ospreay from Claudio's attack. Darby is very focused on the Death Riders. It's the only thing he cares about. He cares about saving AEW and killing the Death Riders. Ospreay is like, hey, I just lost 2 matches back to back on pay-per-view. That doesn't happen to me often. I need this win and I need to beat you. They started nice. They were like, Will was like, oh, thank you for coming save me. And then Darby went into his tirade about we're not gonna have a Continental Classic again if the Death Riders keep doing what they're doing, because that's all Darby could think about. That's all they really talked about. That was really it. Hyping up their match for next week. Anything on that one?
No.
We're skipping over the 2 tournament matches, and we got to talk about her. We talked about both of them before. Toni Storm versus Shazza McKenzie. Toni Storm, very quick match. Very quick match. Knocked out Shazza with a Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3. Grabs the microphone. And she's like, guys, I'm very excited to tell you this. But finally, Toni Storm is all elite. And everyone's like, what? And then she leaves the ring. And before we get into the theories, we're going to talk about one more segment with her. We're going to talk about it right now. I know I'm going to skip around a little bit. Thunder Rosa is backstage. She's talking about she's talking about Mariah May, challenging her to a match at World's End. A Tijuana street fight. Should be really good.
Yeah.
While Thunder Rosa is talking, Toni Storm comes up. And Toni Storm's like, oh my God, Thunder Rosa, so nice to meet you. I'm a big fan, so nice to meet you. And I think it was Tony Schiavone. She's like, Tony Schiavone, so nice to meet you. Like, Tony Schiavone, I can't believe you're here. And Tony's like looking at her like, what the hell is happening? Toni Storm's like, oh, I'm so happy. Thunder Rosa's looking like, what is happening? She's like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm all elite. I'm so happy to be here. And Toni Storm walks off. Thunder Rosa finishes her promo. And that's the last that we see of not only Thunder Rosa, but also Toni Storm. Now we got to talk about it. From the moment that Toni Storm came out on Dynamite, acting very like verklempt, very like, oh my God, I'm so happy I'm here. This is timeless Toni Storm's best act. She has to fool the world to make us think that she's not timeless. And you can see it in everything that she does.
Yep.
Toni Storm, she's trying not to hit. The way that I explained it to someone else, I said that Toni Storm is trying really hard to act like Toni Storm.
Yes.
She's doing like the rock on. She's pulling up the horns all the time. She's overdoing it a lot more than she did a couple years ago when she was first on the scene. She's trying not to do the timeless poses. She stops herself. She acts like she has amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even know that she isn't all elite. Got that? She announced that on Saturday. And what was funny is the AEW account just retweeted the Toni Storm's all elite from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But Toni Storm is doing everything she can to act like Toni Storm, and she's doing everything she can to make us believe that old school Toni Storm is back. When we know, if you're looking, this is timeless Toni Storm doing her greatest performance as Toni Storm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because after she did that on Dynamite, and then she started forcing the rock on stuff, I was like, oh, I get it. She's still timeless Toni Storm, but she's acting like Toni Storm. As weird as that sounds. She's acting like the rookie version of herself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a pretty it's a pretty cool thing. It's pretty interesting.
This is gonna lead her to Mariah. She's gonna find a way to get close to Mariah. I don't know how it's gonna work because Mariah does not seem like the type of person to believe what Toni Storm is doing. Like, I think Mariah May is smarter than that. So I think we're gonna see how this goes. But at some point soon, we're gonna get that interaction between Toni Storm and Mariah May. And I am very intrigued to see how that goes and see what Toni Storm does to make Mariah May believe that Timeless is gone and that this is the Toni Storm, the rock on Toni Storm is here to stay. She can't even convince us. I don't think she can convince Mariah.
Yeah.
That's it. You have any other thoughts on Toni Storm and I guess Shaza, if you want to talk about Shaza, but any thoughts on anything about that?
No. I think it's cool. I think it's gonna be fun to see where it goes.
Now you know what we got to talk about next.
Mm-hmm.
Winner of this match gets a match with Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
Yep.
Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin, with Layla Gray, of course. Layla's with them still. Against Action Andretti and Leo Rush and their spiky jackets.
I don't know what the fuck those things are.
I forget. I think they wore them on like Rampage. I think whenever we saw them, like it might have been Dynamite, but at some point we saw them. It might have been Dynamite actually when they were talking to Top Flight and Private Party. It might have been there. They had those jackets on. They looked like grade A douchebags. Like grade A douchebags.
Yeah.
And we officially get the thing where Action Andretti and Leo Rush are coming out of the heel tunnel. Action Andretti, super swaggy right now. Like we have seen this evolution, right? And we've been talking about how we needed this to happen. We needed them to move on and do this story.
Yeah.
They got through the story and they gave us a damn barn burner of a tag match.
Hell yeah.
Everything that they did to build up to this really worked out. All the fights that they had, every interaction, everything worked out, and it helped that they all took this match and cranked it up to 11. Anything they did, they made sure that there was impact. Everything. It was so good. The main thing we got to talk about, though. Layla Gray got attacked. Layla Gray was right there for a springboard. Layla Gray gets hit with the springboard. She falls. She's holding onto her shoulder. Dante and Darius are looking at her like, oh my God, are you okay? Lio Rush and Action Andretti are looking like, oh, well, mostly Lio Rush is looking like, oh my God, are you okay? Action Andretti's kind of just standing. You don't really get to see Action Andretti a lot, but the little bit that you see him in this moment, you can tell he doesn't give a shit. You can see it. Lio Rush is like, oh my God, I can't believe I hurt Layla. Like, what's going on? Action Andretti kind of pushes Lio, like, kind of like, come on, let's go. And they attack Top Flight while they're tending to Layla Gray.
Yep.
Probably the most heelless thing that they've done at this point. They use this to take advantage and to win the match. So we are going to be getting at some point soon. I'm guessing World's End, but it's not fully. I don't think it's announced yet. It might be. We will be getting Action Andretti and Lio Rush versus Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Any thoughts on this one?
This match was fantastic. I do like so. The one part that sold it was the commentary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they were all sitting there looking because Layla Gray got hurt, Tony Schiavone was like, "Hey, hit those guys! They're still in the match. The match is still going. You know, this doesn't stop the match. It was nobody got none of the participants are the ones that got hurt. And so and so when they attacked Dante and Darius, like everybody in commentary was like, well, the match is still going. So yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
It was different, right?
Because if you really thinking about it, right, if you want to put it into like perspective of that, usually like the bad guys are usually like reprimanded for what they're doing. But if we're gonna be honest, Top Flight has been losers for like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? Like they've been distracted by everything. They can't get tag team title shots. They can't do anything. Right? They have the chance right here. Lio Rush was a little bit distracted, which lets me believe that Action Andretti is the one who coerced Lio Rush to doing this. Like, Lio is, like, definitely the face. He's definitely the talker, right? Doing all that kind of stuff because Leo's Lio. Lio Rush is great. But Action Andretti is the one who forced Lio Rush to do this. He got into his ear and he got to do this. Because Action Andretti was the one who was like, let's go. We're still doing this. Lio Rush stopped. Action didn't want to.
No, they all stopped. Like, even Action stopped for, but him and there's one part that it went by too quick. It went by really quick. But they showed the part where it's like they were all looking and him and Action looked at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then they attacked. They were like, well, they're distracted. Let's do this. And then they went in. I think they both agreed to do it because it was like, they were all looking at, oh shit, Layla Gray's down. And then it was like for a minute, and then they started looking at each other, and then they looked at each other, and then they went in.
Mm-hmm.
So, they won. That's the reason.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, bro. This is Action's fault. Action wanted this. Action was the first one to start acting crazy about these losses.
But was he wrong?
No, he wasn't. It got them a tag title shot.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I definitely don't expect them to win that tag title match. But
no.
They have now progressed further than Top Flight has in a while. Already. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where that goes. Next up, we got to talk about Chris Statlander killing Tootie Lynn. Tootie tried. She had a little bit of offense here, but really none of it worked. Chris Statlander just killed her.
Yeah, it was a dominant match.
Mm-hmm. And then the final match that we're going to be talking about, because the main event is Continental Classic. We talked about that already. We talked about Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe already. We had our old school AEW 10-man tag team match. MXM Collection and the Premier Athletes against Orange Cassidy, the Outrunners, Commander, and Daniel Garcia. This is just a good old fun match.
Yeah, and actually, like right at the beginning of it, when they, so the Premier Athletes, they always do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
They included MXM on it, and MXM, they're like, "Hey, you can also put your tips in. We're gonna put your hands here. We invite you to put your tips in." So MXM pulls out like finger condoms and puts them on their fingers.
Yeah.
Puts their hands in. Puts their tips in. Jesus.
You don't know where the Premier Athletes have been.
Yeah, exactly.
Those tips are sacred. You can't just put your tip at... Look, Proffitt, you can't just put your tip anywhere.
Can't put it anywhere.
So, sure, people will ask you, oh, yeah, here, put your tip here, put your tip here. You gotta be careful where you put your tip. You gotta protect your tip at all times.
Oh, it's so good.
But this was just like a good old fun match. Like, there were points where Mansoor was in the corner with all the baby faces, and they all punched down on him, and he was just like flailing around, getting beat up by everybody. It was just good old fun. The crowd was really into this too, because these are just those matches that are just really good.
Actually, here's the funny thing. So all the faces came out, right? And the first team on the heel side to come out was MXM.
Yep.
MXM got cheered as loud as all the faces.
Well, yeah, because MXM is great.
Yeah, they're awesome. But I'm just saying, they got to that level where they're getting cheered they get as big of cheers as all the baby faces in the match. So I think that's really cool.
I think next year's gonna be a big year for them. Just like how the Outrunners got like those big cheers this year and it put them into a really good spot. MXM's gonna be there too.
Yeah, I see that.
But yeah, they went crazy. A lot happened in this match. I can't talk about everything that was happening in this match, but it was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun. You can tell they were all in there having a blast. And of course the babyfaces won. Of course, two of the people on the babyface team are in the Continental Classic, so and the other two of them are the Outrunners. So oh no, three of them. Commander's out, but he's still part of the Continental Classic.
Right.
So they were gonna win. Overall, it was a fun match. You got any thoughts on this one?
No, it was a second of what you say. It was a really fun match. Really, really, it was a really good match to lead into the main event that happened right after that.
Mm-hmm.
But another great match on the Solid show. I'll just say that.
So we're not gonna be talking about the main event. Main event was the upset between Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. Upset. Mark Briscoe's a former world champion. Not really an upset, but no one expected it. That's not the last thing that happened on the show, though.
No, it is not.
After the match, we're celebrating Mark Briscoe. We're all excited. We're like, Briscoe won. This is crazy. We cut to the back, and Wheeler Yuta just has a camera, and they're like, "It's with the Death Riders. Wheeler's with the Death Riders." And Mox is like, one of them was like, "You know how to work that thing?" And he was like, "Yeah, I got it." Just to put the camera down, by the way. So he put the camera down. It's angled in a certain way to where you can see the door and you can see people coming around the corner. And the people that just happen to be coming around the corner are FTR. They got their bags. They're getting ready to go home. End of the day, they watched the main event. They were happy for Mark Briscoe. Of course, FTR, the Briscoes, have a history, obviously. They were excited. They started walking out. Before they can get to the door, Marina Shafir comes into the building and stops them and then the rest of the Death Riders jump on to the backs of FTR, put bags over their heads, and takes them out of the building. And that is how Collision ends.
Yep. We've witnessed a crime. We witnessed a kidnapping.
This is the second kidnapping that's happened in AEW in 2 months.
Yes.
I don't have anything else to say to that. It's just the second kidnapping that's happened in AEW in 2 months.
Yeah, and then both. Well, no. One
was a baby face kidnapping a heel.
Yeah. Matt Menard and Daniel Garcia kidnapping Jack Perry. And this one is, the Outriders. Well, not Outriders, but the Death Riders kidnapping FTR.
And you guys think I'm joking. If you haven't watched the show, this is literally how the show ends. We don't.
Yep,
they leave the building and the show's over. We don't know what happens to FTR. To this point, we don't know what's happening. They could be anywhere. But yeah, that's Collision, and that's the AEW for the week.
Yeah.
You have any thoughts overall about how this week was?
Oh, this week was all the shows this week were fantastic. They were really good. All the C2 matches were great. Well, actually, not just C2. All the tournament matches this week were great. Everybody took it up a notch. And you could tell. All the women's matches were on point this week. All of them. Even the squash ones. Those were on point. Everything was on point this week. You would think this was you would have thought this was a go-home week. It's not. We got another week.
That's why, Loki, I was confused. I was like, we're the pay-per-view's this week. Nope, it's not.
No, it's not. So, great stuff, AEW. I would say the only down is the Adam Cole MJF story. That's just the only one that's just not hitting like it should.
We're going to hear from MJF on Dynamite this week. So we will see how that goes. MJF's going to have to work some magic to save this story. Because, right now, like you said, it's not great.
Yeah, it's not hitting like it should. Like, I think, I feel like, MJF can try to save the story, but until the story, what's going to save the story? When it ends. Unfortunately.
Yeah, honestly, it should have been ended.
Yeah, like once it ends and they can go their separate ways and do other things, that's when both of them will go much further.
I mean, we'll have to see where this goes, right? Like right now, that story is the only one that's like just doesn't fit with everything else that's happening right now.
No.
So we will see how this goes, but yeah. Other than that, everything else has been fantastic. We're getting a lot of really good builds. We got our main event officially now. We're getting close to the semifinals and finals of Continental Classic. It's just we have a lot is going on right now in AEW to end the year, and we got to remember after World's End and after we have the show on HBO Max.
Yep.
Half of them are going to Tokyo, wrestling Wrestle Dynasty. Some of them already wrestling in the Tokyo Dome. So, AEW has a lot of things going on in the next couple months.
And they'll also be showing up on Max, by the way.
Wrestle Dynasty is going to be on Max?
Yeah, the Wrestle Dynasty is, yeah. The AEW pay-per-views are going there too, so I'm not sure if they're going to be free or anything. That'd be discounted. I don't know.
We'll see how that goes. The one thing I need to make sure is we're getting to that point. I guess we can say it anyway. I watch on Triller. That's how I watch the show. So I watch at like you can watch on Sling, so you watch it on the East Coast time too. So like for Dynamite, we're watching at like 5:00 if you can get there like on time, right?
Yeah, right.
The thing about Triller, why I pay the $5 a month for AEW, and I have been since literally day one, is because when they go into picture in picture, I don't actually get picture in picture. We still get commentary. We get to see everything full screen pretty much until they do the dreaded takeaway like they do on TNT sometimes.
Right.
I'm hoping that the feed that we get on Max is a Triller feed. I doubt that it is, but if it is, it's literally the best way to watch AEW. Because once they go in the picture-in-picture, they're still doing commentary, and it is hilarious. Like, they don't give a shit. They know they're not on TV. It's great. So if we can get that on Max, we're good. For the New Japan show, for Wrestle Dynasty, I'm already gonna be watching New Japan, so I was already I'm good. I'm paying for New Japan, so I'm already there. But it would be really dope if we do get all the pay-per-views for like maybe a discount. I don't know about free, but maybe a discount would be cool.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be discounting.
I'm gonna tell you one thing that WWE does better than AEW, because they've had it for a while. You have Peacock, you can just watch WWE stuff. So that's great. If AEW can find a way to do that, that would be amazing. If not, it is what it is.
Wait. No one said the caveat about that shit though.
Mm-hmm. Got paid for Peacock.
The caveat of Peacock is that, yeah, they get all the shows for free, but there's also, it could be a 3-hour show, but it's going to be 3 hours of commercials.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's WWE. Like I didn't say that the show was going to be good. I just said that you can get it on Peacock. I didn't say anything about the show being good, because it ain't.
But that's the part that's like, yes, you're getting it on Peacock, but they're going to add 3 hours of commercials on it for sure.
And then 5 minutes of wrestling.
That's like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You're being too lenient with 5.
Although I did see, like, they had a show on Saturday, right? We're not going to talk too much about it. We're about to wrap up the podcast anyway. But they had the show, Saturday night main event. Why the fuck is Cody coming out with the winged eagle? Like, are they trying to pander to us? Is that what they're trying to do? Like, why does he have that belt? Did you see that?
Because he wanted it.
All right, Cody. Got it for the one show. No one's talking about anything else from that show, by the way. It's literally just Cody with the winged eagle. Like, no one's talking about any matches. He wrestled Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that tells you. It tells you more than what you need to than you need to say.
Yeah. Winged eagle is good though.
Yeah, the winged eagle is dope.
It's cool to see in HD.
Yeah.
But that's really it. You have any other final thoughts? Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this thing up?
No, man. I think we're good, man.
All right. You want me to take us home, or you got it?
Today, I got it.
Oh snap! Get it. Take us home, Proffitt.
All right, guys. First off, you got this far. You got to the end of the show. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, click that like button. Let us know that you like this episode of the podcast and that you like this content that that we're bringing out. Of course, if you have any comments or any conversation about any of the topics we talked about today on the podcast, drop a comment. We're going to talk about it. Hey, we'll talk about it on the show. We'll talk about it in the comment section. Let's get some conversation going about a lot of these things that are going on in AEW. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, huh? And subscribe and hit the bell button, because that will ensure that you get all of our new episodes when they come out. And we're not just the off the top rope episodes. You'll get the command grab episodes, which is our video game show, and the OVA, which is our show that we talk about anime. All the stuff will be in the description below, including our Spotify, including all of our socials, which is, Blue Sky, Twitter. And if you want to listen to our other podcast and and listen to them on the go. You can listen to it on Spotify and Podbean. All the stuff will be in the description below. So with that, thank you very much, and we're out.
Peace.